Okay. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or evening. I think for many of you it's already later today. I'm currently in Peru. It's 8 a.m. in the morning, and I'm happy to see Francois, Lorik, David, and Jesus on the webinar. And I see Vincent is just joining. So it's very nice that we have a decent amount of people on the webinar. I hope that there will be some more joining as well. I know that more people have seen on Facebook Workplace the invitation, and have also said that they will be joining us. If you can hear me well and clear, it would be nice if you can type a quick yes or some response so I can see that my voice actually gets transmitted. Yeah, and then we will go right into it. We haven't heard from each other for quite some time. If I remember correctly, we had the last webinar at the beginning of November. So yeah, 6 weeks. And now it's just before Christmas for all of you, for all of those of you who celebrate Christmas. But yeah, coaches across continents will definitely switch off for the next 2.5 weeks. This is my last or our last working day, and then from tomorrow we will be completely off. But since we are not up yet, we will have a good session now. I want to quickly go through the points we will discuss today. And that will be obviously a review and feedback of the online education program 2017. Most of you who are on this webinar have also successfully graduated from the online education program, and you have also already received your certificates. For the second point we will discuss is my vision for the online education program 2018 next year. And I will obviously also ask you for your input and feedback and your ideas. Then we will discuss the final tasks for those of you who haven't completed all the tasks yet, and the solutions for those of you who are probably a little bit behind and who haven't received the certificates yet. And we'll have an outlook on 2018 and how you can stay involved. And and then I will say our final thank you and final goodbye for this year. But for now, we'll jump right into it. And now your action and your input is requested, since it is the feedback for the OEP 2017 and you've been the major actors and the major participants in this. I would like to ask my first question, and if you can please type in the feedback box, on the chat box on the bottom right, and you can please share your positive feedback about the online education program. Some guiding questions can be: what did you like the most? What should we keep for next year's participants? Or what have you learned? I would be keen to hear. If you prefer to speak, if your internet connection is fast enough, please indicate that as well. I don't have a problem to make you a moderator, and then instead of typing, you can also talk to the group. Since we are not too big, I don't mind to do that. So yeah, please send me a message or type your answer in the chat box on the bottom right. I'll give you some time. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lorik. I really liked having guest speakers and getting to know other NGOs programs around the world. You can consider having some of the participants to present their NGO and programs. Hmm. Yeah. Thank you very much for that, Lorik. I think in the OEP, if I remember, you, Lorik, and David were the only guest speakers. We had some other people on the virtual learning community. I think that is also important to remember that these are two separate things. There is the webinars that we run as the online education program, and only the participants from the OEP get invited for that. So that's about 30 people who get invited. The virtual learning community, we invite all people who have ever participated in a program. That's about 3,000. So yeah, we will definitely continue on the VLC webinars to have more guest speakers. And I will obviously also look how in the OEP program, different participants can raise their voices and yeah, explain what they're doing. Thank you for that feedback. David says, hearing the views from different participants on how they are adapting activities and resources to meet their own goals and overcome limitations. Yeah, very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm happy that you like that. I can share something that I liked very much from the OEP, since I was the person to facilitate this process. I very much liked the sessions where we talked about different coaching techniques, like how to start a game quickly, how to adapt games. I also really liked the Skype sessions. I had two Skype sessions, one with a group and one with Betty in a personal session, and there we discussed challenges around SSP and like how to adapt games for different age groups, and how to come up with new games that I really enjoyed, and I think I want to do that more next year. You will see that in my vision for 2018. That was something I really enjoyed to hear your questions and to listen to your ideas. That was really, really nice. Jesus says, thank you so much for these 9 months. Thanks for the feedbacks, for supporting us at all times. I love being able to know the ideas of other people from different parts of the world to get better results. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Jesus, I completely agree with that. And that also, yeah, resonates and resonates with participants from past years that also really enjoyed this exchange of ideas between yeah, different participants. And yeah, we will continue that next year. And I think by emphasizing more on the Skype calls again, this will also give us the opportunity to do that more even. Yeah, thank you, Vincent. Yeah, that I think is very valuable. And I will try to focus on that more next year to give the opportunity. Yeah, cool. Yeah, please keep that in mind, this exchanging ideas. We can again come back to that a little bit later when I'm asking you for more feedback, but thank you so far. The next question is, we will continue with these questions for the next 5 to 10 minutes. The next question is, where can we improve the online education program? What should we change for next year's participants? How can we better support the participants that will be joining next year? So yeah, again, please type your feedback. And again, the offer, if you want to speak, I can also make you a moderator. Please indicate that as well if you want, if you would like to do that. Again, a minute for you to think about it, or two. Where can we improve the online education program? In which areas? I'm just taking some notes from your feedback, then I will be right back. So don't be surprised if I type something on my computer. Okay, let me see. Oh, thank you again. Any feedback? Not yet. Is there nothing we can improve in? Is there nothing we can do better? Share the most ideas with the community a lot. Okay. If you can explain a little bit further with that, Vincent, I understand completely. What do you mean with most ideas? Game ideas, or what kind of ideas should we share? And when you talk about the community, you mean the community of the OAP participants? I would appreciate if there can be some further explanation. Okay. I think we could make more use of our workplace app, maybe have monthly tasks that you need to communicate on as a group or subgroup, just trying to keep the conversation across the participants going throughout the year. Very good point, David. Yeah. And I had a similar idea. You will see that later when I talk about my vision for 2018, and then you can probably give me feedback if that is something along the lines that you think can work to keep people engaged, because that's also my goal to have people more involved and using more Facebook Workplace, because I think it's such a great sharing platform. Yeah, and there will be a monthly task. You will see that later in my vision, and then I would really appreciate your feedback on that. Lorik is saying, I would suggest that 9 months is a very long. Maybe it's better to have a little intensive but shorter, because from the start I was eager to design games, which is starting in the last phase. Just ideas, you can consider that. Yeah, no, for sure. It's obviously ideas. Yeah, I'm thinking along those lines as well. I don't, this will definitely change next year. This 9 months will be, yeah, will break down into smaller segments. But I think you have made a valid point for people who are already a little bit more advanced, to let them enter in a different stage. So yeah, we'll think about that more. That's definitely a valid point. Let me write that down. Thank you, Lorik. Yeah, we would really need to. I really like this idea, and I think that should be a option, Lorik. I think we would really need to think how we can evaluate somebody's knowledge and skills in that regard. Yeah. Okay, cool. I will think about that. And I would also appreciate your feedback again, Lorik, once I present my vision for the OAP 2018. Thank you very much for this new experience, is saying Francois. For me, I see this meta of learn only online program, but use the learning to better improve the way of communication and education of people to assist seriously different communities and government in using UN sustainable goals. Yeah, no, what I understand from that is that, yeah, it was a challenge for you to use online tools for learning, and then transmitting them or transferring them into impacting your community. Yeah, I think that is the special challenge, and I think it's quite unique for almost all of you to use technology for this purpose, and I think many of you have done so great. Mm, yeah, participant gain and ideas with participants and OEP. Okay, yeah, I think that's a little bit what we mentioned earlier, Vincent, to yeah be able to share ideas and gain new ideas from other participants. And I think Facebook Workplace will be a great platform for that next year to even intensify and have further requirements on using that. Yeah, no problem, Francois. I hope I understood your message correctly. If not, please correct it. Jesus says, it seems to me that there is not much to improve during the year. He has seen a fantastic job and always helps us with our doubts and feedback. However, it might be good to assign teams to carry out possible activities such as creating new games. Yeah, that's interesting to have teams. So do you see that, Jesus, as teams within the group of participants or having teams from CAC or other, let's say, for example, graduates to carry that out? And how could that look like? What kind of activities to explain how to create new games? Um, Yeah, that would be interesting to explain a little bit further if you have any ideas how that could look like. Um, but thank you also for this positive feedback. I'm happy to hear that. Teams to carry out possible activities. Uh-huh. Okay, I will definitely take that as a note. Um, because what I'm thinking now, the people who do that, teams of those who are active during the 9 months of the OEP, create to the games or create new games maybe. Okay, you mean then with those ones who are a little bit behind? Um, because in general we have been doing that. People have been creating and modifying games, but then you mean having those ones who are on track, who are active as mentors? Is that what you're saying? Okay. As you are thinking and answering, I'll go to the next question so people can also think about the next question. Once the slide has loaded. By the way, Vincent from the US, or who is in the US right now, good morning or afternoon. Yeah, no problem. You indicated you will be a little bit late. No problem. Welcome to the webinar. I don't know why the new slide is not loading. I can't see anything. What's going on? Now we are. Here we are. Vincent says some challenges were the age ranges for all the different groups on the OEP, young and old kids. Okay. Okay, cool. That's more challenge with the task and adapting the games. Okay, yeah. Since you joined a little bit later, this is more about the program in general. Yeah. Okay, you're answering already the next question. Sorry. Did you face any challenges during the OEP that you would like to share? Sorry, Vincent, you are ahead of myself even. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, yeah, challenges on how to adapt the games for the different age groups. Yeah, I think that is a different difficult challenge, and I think that was definitely also a big part of the discussion we had during one of our Skype calls, which I mentioned earlier that I really enjoyed. That was a major question we discussed. Okay, yeah, any other challenges during the OEP that you would like to share? Any challenges you had? This can also be challenges with the technology, challenges with, yeah, it can be challenges with certain tasks, but also challenges with certain procedures, language, certain tools we are using. This can go in many different directions. It's not just about the content. I really appreciate your feedback. This is very helpful. Um, I'm just taking again notes and the feedback, so don't get disturbed by my typing. Okay. Any other feedback? I share with Vincent. Yeah, maybe for my challenge was to introduce the games to groups ages between 4 and 6 years old. It's a little more precise than certain subjects for them. Yeah, the younger the group, the more you should focus on the fun aspect. Not saying that 13, 14, 15, 16 or 20 years old or 30 years old shouldn't have fun, but the social impact message is not even has to be stronger, or no, how can I put it, is not such in the forefront for especially children 4 to 6 years old. There should be the fun aspect, and the fun in the game is very much is probably like 90% of the game, 100% of the game. Um, I think it also is a general mental development of children, like this self-awareness, self-reflection, being able to think about your actions and the consequences. This only comes with a certain age, starting probably with like 5, 6, when they're starting to go to school. That's when it starts to develop further, to be able to reflect on yourself and your actions. So with 4 to 6 years old, it doesn't also make sense to have any deep discussions on any topics. It's their brain is just not uh, functioning or has not developed in that way. We had a challenge with language, but I was able to explain any difficulties also on the technology. But now I know what to expect, and so when putting participants forward, I can make sure they have to correct levels of technology with Vincent trained. Now it will be easier. Okay. Yeah, that is a challenge. I mean, technology. Do you have any ideas, Vince, how if we can do anything on our side to improve that, to improve the technology part? I personally feel is there has to be a certain level of knowledge about technology, and I'm very grateful that you were there to help Vincent. Um, but I'm also open for ideas if we as CAC can do anything to improve that, to help with that. Um, yeah, I'm open for that. I had some issues at the start with EduTube working properly. Switching from Chrome to Explorer seemed to solve the issues. Yeah, I think, yeah, it has to do with uh, it has to do with I think the Flash player. that EduDip uses. And yeah, Explorer is pretty good. I'm using Firefox, which works quite well as well. But thank you for this feedback. I will add that as an information to share with future participants. And I think the same applies to SSP. Switch to yeah, thank you for that feedback, David. Okay, yeah, we struggle because no one has access to computers, so it's difficult. However, with the increase in smartphones, people are getting used to technology. Yeah, no, unfortunately not. Certain things can run on a smartphone, but SSP, for example, can't run on a smartphone because you need the technology with Flash Player. So I know SSP you can't use on a smartphone, and I also think it might be quite difficult to use on a smartphone the way it is set up at the moment anyway. With EduDip, I think you can join the course on a smartphone. I'm actually not sure. I have never tried it. Would be interesting to hear from other people if you can join the EduDip webinars on a smartphone. I know you can dial in from a phone and just listen to the voice. That's definitely possible, but I don't know if you can join it from a smartphone. Facebook Workplace you definitely can use on a smartphone. Emails you can use on a smartphone. Skype you can use on a smartphone. But in actually to graduate, you would also need a computer, definitely for SSP. I know about that. Francois said the other challenges will be to transform the games or messages or games in a simple way of communication, comparison of age, traditional and cultural behavior of communities, and point of views of children and youngs of different years, ages. That probably means. Yeah, I think that's similar what has been already mentioned with like adapting the game to different age groups. Yeah. And obviously also consider the different community aspects of the community, challenges and traditions, culture. Yeah, that is a challenge, and I think that's a challenge for all our implementing partners around the world. That's why I think CAC exists, to challenge tradition, culture, to question it, and think of ways to do it differently. Higher areas, okay, in different areas, okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. Welcome, Athreya. I hope you can join the conversation we are having here. I have one more question. This is a simple yes or no question for now. Would you like to stay involved with the OEP and support the next generation of participants? Okay. Okay, thank you for this feedback. Yeah, Vincent. Okay. Thank you. I would be honored too, Athreya, to have you to have you involved also next year in a different role, since you have already successfully finished all the tasks. Thank you. Yeah, David, that would be very much appreciated if there would be if I could count on your support. Jesus, yeah, great. Thank you. I've noted that down. And yeah, I will come back to you next year. Okay, cool. Thank you for engaging so much in these questions. That was very helpful. I took some notes, and I think, and I'm sure it will help us to improve for next year. I'm switching to the next slide. Again, I can't see it. I don't know if you can. I'll wait for a little bit longer and see if it appears for me as well. still can't see it. Okay. Seems to be a little bit slow today. Okay, there we go. No, not yet. Where's slide number 7? Why can't I see it? You can see slide number 8, how to stay involved. But I wanted to share now my vision with you. Here we go. What do I envision for OEP 2018? And I put two major words to it. What I would like to achieve to make it slimmer and simpler. To not have, because from my side, my feedback for the OEP, and I think that has a little bit been for the past 3 years, it becomes this big beast that I need to manage. And one major issue or challenge was for me to manage the different speed that participants are progressing in the OEP. There are some people who are very much on track, and then there's others who are not on track and who lag behind, who have other commitments, who drop out and then catch up again. So this is a major issue for me to manage that, and especially also considering that we would like to increase the numbers of people who can join. So that being said, the first point on this slide, you can see simple, to have 3 separate stages. We had that already now with learning, adapting, creating, which each takes again 3 months ideally. And I value Lorik's feedback to see if people can just also, for example, jump right into adapt if they already know how to play CAC games. I think Sports Session Planner might be new to everyone, so there might be ways to speed that up. And I think I'm coming up with an idea. Yeah, I will share that in a second, and then you can let me know what you think. Then the second point is that after each stage, yeah, Benny, welcome, no problem. After each stage, there would be a certification in order to progress to the next stage. So I think that is also, rather than having this long 9 months course that you have to go through, you have to complete the first 3 months in order to process it to adapt stage. And if you haven't completed that task, you can't progress, and you basically, yeah, you just basically drop out. And there will be a set, and you also can, that's the third point, after each stage say, okay, this is enough for me, I don't want to continue, I will drop out, or I want to finish, and then you get a certification for that, what you have achieved in that time. So if you remember correctly, the learn stage was mainly about learning how to use SSP, learning how to use Facebook Workplace, implementing the curriculum that is provided. The adapt stage was mainly about adapting games and implementing adapted games from other participants. And the create stage was basically the same, just based on creating games and implementing created games from others, all based on on SSP and Facebook Workplace. And then for each of the stages, we also had these monthly feedback forms that yeah, helped us to see how you're doing and what feedback you have. Yeah, and then yeah, to make it slimmer, the idea is that the monthly curricula that we are providing throughout the year will become identical with the curricula provided to the OEP participants during the first 3 months. So there will be no changes and no double curricula. So we'll just use the curricula that we have developed anyway, and use them also for the online education program. Slim, another aspect is, and I think that goes back to David's point, to define clearly 3 or 4 tasks that each participant needs to complete that month, and that can be easily tracked. This easy tracking, that is also one aspect for me why the OEP becomes quite difficult to manage, because it's a lot also on researching and looking after things and reading things. It's very time intensive, so I wanna find ways to easily track these things. Um, and then interactive, to offer optional Skype calls once a month for people to connect and ask questions. I think that I want to reintroduce this next year again, to have that not compulsory, because some people probably don't need it, don't want it, don't have the time. But if people have questions, there will be a designated time where they can jump on a Skype call once a month. I will offer that, and then I will see how many people sign up and join, and then we can also use our voice and talk to each other. And I have also an idea in terms of Lorik's idea that people can progress faster. My idea for the learn stage, and I might just briefly share my screen because I've worked yesterday night on my vision very specifically. If you want to see that, I can share that quickly, and then I would really appreciate your feedback. I know we are going a little bit tight on time, but I hope we can manage that. Let me quickly start this here. Okay. Cool. Let me see. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now. This is what I've come up yesterday. Let me change it here. Here we go. Okay, I hope you can see that now. And you can read that as well. Okay, so now let me close that. There you go. Okay, I hope you can see that now. So that is my idea so far. So on field, it's very clear for this 3 months you have to implement a curriculum with your team and players. And the off-field tasks are quite similar for the 3 months. You have to register on SSP, EduDip, Facebook Workplace. That's compulsory for everyone in order to use these. And then the other 3 tasks is to have minimum 1 Facebook Workplace posts that can be pictures or videos from on-field actions. That applies for the first, second, and third months. You have to make 1 Facebook Workplace post with pictures and or video. You have to enter minimum 1 game into your SSP account in order to show that you understand SSP, that you know how to use the tool. So in total, you would have 3 games after 3 months, and you have to fill in the Google feedback form. And I think what we can do, my idea is now for people who want to progress faster, if somebody posts 3 videos and enters 3 games into SSP, they can automatically progress to the adapt stage. Obviously, the feedback form will only always be shared after each month. But if somebody completes these 2 tasks, and this can be completed in 1 month, you can make 3 Facebook posts in 1 month and enter 3 games into SSP in 1 month, then you can immediately join the adapt stage. I think that's my idea that I come up with now as I was talking. I don't know what you think about it. And I hope you were able to see my screen. I will stop my screen sharing now before it goes crazy. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that feedback. Oh, yeah, that was my work yesterday night between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. I was working on that. I was so excited. So yeah, yeah, thank you. This is very, very helpful. Thank you, Lorik, for your feedback. And yeah, that made me think now about this fast track for people who want to go immediately to adapt or create, who know how to implement. We can create this fast track for people to progress to the next stage. Cool. Next slide is Vision OEP 2018, how to stay involved. I was happy to read from 5 of you that you would really like to stay involved, and I would explain a little bit what my ideas are. All graduates from the past years are already on Facebook Workplace and are part of the OEP team, and so will you be in 2018. So you will stay part of that team, and your feedback is very much appreciated. So Facebook Workplace, please continue posting videos, pictures, and comments. You see, I try to comment on almost every single Facebook Workplace post that comes in and on the OEP team, but I also appreciate if people you post. And when I say post, it's more than, oh, this looks nice, or this is great. This is also good. I'm not saying that's wrong to post that, but it also helps somebody to have actual feedback and say like, oh yeah, what did you do this? Or ask further questions, or what was the reaction from the participants? You can improve here, or have you thought of this? This would be very helpful to have more in-depth comments and posts. That would be very much appreciated, and I think you all are now well equipped as participants as graduates from the online education program. Okay, cool. Just gonna quickly track from Okay, cool. And then the last idea I have is this so-called mentorship idea, that each OEP participant has one graduate on his or her site to ask for support. And now, after you said you would like to stay involved, is the question, would you also like to be a mentor? Would that be a role you can imagine for yourself? Would you be keen to have somebody assigned to your site and able to support, to ask questions, or that this person would be able to ask you questions, to ask you for support, to turn towards you rather than always turning towards me? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that I was definitely thinking, Vincent, that's a good point. I was even thinking, my first thought was it would be nice if they would be close by so you could see them, but I think that might be a very huge surprise, and very unique if there's somebody in your neighborhood that joins next year that you can see in person. But I will definitely make sure that they are in a similar time zone or in the same country, also to probably understand certain social issues better. I'm sure that if you would have somebody who comes from Zimbabwe or Mozambique or South Africa, it would be much easier to relate the things that they are struggling with, that the questions that they have, than, let's say, somebody who is from Indonesia, for example, or somebody that is from Paraguay or Chile. Yeah, I'll definitely consider that. And then thank you for that feedback. And yeah, any other ideas? If you have any other ideas how you would like to stay involved, what you would like to do, please type your thoughts in the chat box on the bottom right. Yeah, if there's anything else. The mentorship idea already existed for this whole year, and I think I want to focus on more on that next year, and I think this is now the time to prepare for that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is particularly unique if we have that. Yeah, to just give a little bit of background for the other people on the webinar. Elvis is one of our community impact coaches, and he traveled to South Africa to run on-field programs and was then helping So he was in Bende Mutale working with World Parks, where Vince and Vincent come from. And then he was sitting down and working with Vincent on SSP and on yeah um, on EduDip and on different things related to um, to the online education program. And I think I also used now the pictures. I think the online, yeah. If you go to the team on, I was just checking, if you go on the Facebook Workplace team online education program, the people you can see there in the picture are Vincent on the right and Elvis and Shimba on the left. So yeah. Skype was very where all the participants could ask questions. Yeah, yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, me too. Thank you. Yeah, that was one other idea. Thank you for bringing that up, Austria. To give also a little bit more responsibility to the graduates. You might be even able to run a webinar or co-run a webinar with me to present certain content. Yeah, if you're keen for that, Austria, I would very much appreciate that. You've been also one of those who've been very committed throughout the year and have done, yeah, I would say even more than what was required. So yeah, I would very much appreciate that to have you part of Skype calls or webinars and present content, answer questions. Yeah, that's that's a great idea. Let me add that to my list. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Any ideas still? If you are typing, don't stop typing. Please finish them and post them and send them so I can see them. I'll move on to the next slide. I don't want to go over an hour, so we have about 10 more minutes left, and this should be definitely enough. So final tasks and outlook on 2018. This is mainly, or yeah, this is partly for the people who are like the latecomers who have not completed all the tasks yet, and then a couple of tasks that apply to everyone. So this is very important. So please pay please pay attention now. So for the latecomers, if you have not completed all the required tasks yet, focus first on them if you are intending to finish the program or the OEP. So that means creating games, uploading games on SSP, implementing suggested changes, watching webinars, answering Google feedback forms, whatever it might be. There's different people who are catching up, but they are not on this call right now. I don't know about Lorik, how much time you still have or what your intentions are in order to complete all the tasks. But I know that Peter from Cambodia and also I've seen yesterday that Keke from T4C in Stellenbosch in South Africa, they are very quite active also now on Facebook Workplace and on SSP, filling in good Google feedback forms to catch up and still complete the task. So please continue with that if you have the intentions, or if you have the intention. The final deadline for completing all the tasks is January 31st, 2018. So you have basically now, not counting the next 2 weeks as people might, or organizations might switch down over Christmas and New Year's, but you basically 1 more month to complete all the tasks that need to be completed in order to graduate. And then I would also like to close the chapter of OEP 2017, which doesn't mean that you don't have a chance to graduate if you don't finish, but I will come to that a little bit later. So if you want to graduate for this year, for 2017, please finish all your tasks by the end of January. And now the following 3 tasks are for everyone, for those of you who have already graduated, as well as those of you who want to still graduate. Please change the settings of your SSP games from Extras library to My Club. I know we have been using it this year. The Extras library adapted and created games, but it doesn't really work the way I want it to work, and it's too much work for me in terms of assigning certain rights and like privileges to you on SSP. So please do that. The extra library and your privilege will be taken away from you at the end of January or sometimes early next year. So please make sure, I will also make a post on Facebook Workplace again, please change the settings of your games from Extras library to My Club. If anybody wants me to show now how to do that on SSP, I can share my screen and explain it. I think all of you who have entered your games into Extras library should also be able to change the settings again. But this is very, very important. That's why it's written in red and green. Change it from Extras library to My Club. Because once I will revoke your privileges, you will not be able to access the games anymore. So that's why I'm stressing this point so much. Okay, cool. Next, everyone, please, in January 2018, please fill in the Google feedback form. It will be emailed to you and posted on Facebook Workplace. So it doesn't exist yet and you don't need to worry about it. Just check your inbox in January when you return to work after New Year's. And there will be a feedback form that will ask you also a couple of questions and will also ask you things about how you want to stay involved and if you want to stay involved. Yeah, so this would be very helpful. And then everyone continue using SSP. So you will keep your account also after you have graduated now. So you can continue implementing games from other coaches and upload your own created games. So this can really be a source of information and a source of games. It's like an online library of games where you can search, enter games, find games. So please, everyone, continue using SSP. Benny, you have written, if webinar is conducted one on weekend, it will be great. Not all, but few. I'm not sure what you mean. We have not run any webinar on a weekend. So would you like us to run a webinar on a weekend because it's better for you? You would like it to be on a weekend. This can be a simple yes or no. Okay, now I think I understand. You would like to have some of the webinars on a weekend. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear from others. Would weekend webinars suit other people? I mean, it would be a little bit of a majority vote. We can't serve everyone. I think if webinars are run during the week, all the webinars, including this one, are recorded and can be watched at any time afterwards. They get posted on EduDip, but they get also posted on YouTube. So if you miss a webinar, you can also watch it afterwards. Yeah, but I can add that add that as a question. Thank you for that. I will add that to one of the feedback webinars. So, okay. Cool. Thank you very much for that suggestion. Okay, cool. We have 2 more slides. Now we're coming to certificates and certification in general. So if you have completed all the tasks, you have already received your certificate. This have been 7 people so far that have graduated. All of you have already received your certificate. if you have not received your certificate, that means you have not completed all the tasks yet. As I mentioned on the previous slide, the final deadline for completing all your tasks in order to graduate is January 31st, 2018. But there's also still an option. If you don't graduate from the OEP 2018, you can rejoin in 2017. You can rejoin in 2018 by filling in the Google feedback form that will be sent to you in January 2018. You remember from the previous slide, I said, for everyone, please fill in the Google feedback form. There will be a question for you and an option to rejoin the 2018 webinar online education program. So if you want to do that, if you don't see the opportunity to graduate and finish all the tasks by January 31st, you would be able to rejoin for 2018 by answering the respective questions in the feedback form. Okay, that's on certification. Any questions about that or comments? Okay, I will give you a few more seconds or 1 more minute to type if you have any questions. And I'll be able to answer them. Otherwise, I would really like to say from my heart, thank you very much to everyone who participated in the online education program this year. It has really been an honor to work with you, and I was so excited to see again today 8-9 people joining the webinar. So your commitment to the program was really outstanding. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to work with you. Thank you for all your thoughts, your creativity, your ideas. They have also inspired me, your questions. Yeah, they make me very proud of you and of what you have achieved. And yeah, I hope you like the certificate, those of you who have received it. Thank you very much. And yeah, I hope you all can take a well-deserved break now over the next 2 weeks. I definitely will. And then I will all see you again in January next year. Perfect. Yeah. I know, Andrea, you're always ahead of the game. Well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, it will be very helpful. That way you will keep the access to the games. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Cool. If there's any more questions or comments, I'm happy to. I will stay a little bit longer in the chat room or in the webinar room so I can still respond. But yeah, again, thank you very much. Have a great break and have some good rest. Enjoy the holidays should you celebrate Christmas or New Year's. And then we will see each other in January. Have a good day, have a nice evening, and see you all next year. Goodbye.